Hi guys, and welcome to another Armin's Tech Talk. Today we're talking about, Pokemon Sword. This is my first time as a 38-year-old man playing Pokemon. Now, when Pokemon came out in the 1990s, I had kind of grown up a little bit past the Pokemon craze. I had just missed it. I was really in my early teens at that point, and it really didn't appeal to me. I looked at it as something that was childish, a little too cartoony. I was looking into, well, at that time, we had Mortal Kombat in the early 90s, and I was looking at things that were a little more gritty and a little more grown up. I mean, at that time, in the mid-90s, of course, we were starting to get PlayStation and games like Parasite Eve. And Resident Evil, of course, was huge at this time. But fast forward about I was in my early teens, so yeah, about 25 years. And here we are sitting in 2021, of course, going through the nightmare that's been the last 2 years and having interactions with my lovely girlfriend. And she has introduced me to Pokemon, so I acquiesced and said I would try it out. So let's get into my impressions, and we will discuss what I think of my first Pokemon game. So the game starts out, and you're this kid. I mean, I guess in most Pokemon games you're a kid, and for whatever reason, your parents are letting you tromp through the countryside all by yourselves. What is this, the 1920s? I don't understand what's going on with that dynamic, but that's not the point. The point is you're out there and you're going to collect them all. The Pokemon, of course, go from sheep to squirrels, and I did spend a lot of time battling squirrels. We'll get into that in a minute. And, I don't know, rocks that have eyeballs. That was kind of creepy the first time I saw that, but the game, needless to say, is colorful. It has this certain animated aesthetic to it. It reminds me of something that is definitely more hand-drawn, something that is in more style of watercolors. And it is, even though it's sharp, it is still rather soft on the eyes. It is something that is palpable. It doesn't need that photorealism that other games strive for in this day and age, and that's probably a good thing considering there's a lot of fictional creatures. Of course, I mean, a lot of games have fictional creatures, but they do try for that realistic look, and I don't think that would really work for the Pokemon series, although it would be interesting to see them try it maybe once at some point in the future. I would equate this, and mind you, I have not spent a lot of hours in these games either, but I would equate this to almost a starter monster hunter sort of game where you're attacking monsters, you're capturing them, you're getting different materials or abilities from them. And so the dynamics of the game are really interesting. Now, at this point, I am about 45 hours into the game. I haven't completed it yet. I'm getting there. I'm working on it slowly, which just to put this out there, if you guys like this video, if I get enough likes, and I'm not going to really say what that number is on this video, but if I get enough likes, I will stream the end of the story and my reaction to how that all turns out. So getting really back to it, as far as the aesthetic of the game, you have different biomes. You have, of course, a forest field biome, something that really kind of reminds me akin to, let's say, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, when you got out into Hyrule Field. You got grass, you got trees, you got animals, creatures that are roaming around. Of course, the Pokemon, most of them hide in the grass. And then You have, of course, more of a desert biome. You have a highlands winter biome, ice, snow. And I'm sure there's a few others in there. There's day, night. From what I understand, that really affects the game more after you complete the story versus before you complete the story. You do have, of course, the weather. You have storms. You have sandstorms. You have bright light. And these different effects, depending upon where you are, will enhance or degrade the abilities of your Pokemon depending who's in your party. So that's kind of the general overview gameplay that I've really observed. Of course, you have a team that you build up, 6 Pokemon. You can switch out your Pokemon. You got boxes. So you can build up your team. You get 6 Pokemon at a time. Of course, it's a rock, paper, scissors sort of interaction with the Pokemon. Fire beats grass, water beats fire. Electricity kind of does whatever electricity does. I don't know. It beats water, I guess, which makes sense. So, Pokemon. I got some Raichus. I got some Pikachus. I got some Roly-Colies. Yeah, I'm naming off Pokemon. I'm 38 years old, and I didn't know the names of any of these guys besides Pikachu until about 2 months ago. We got Machamps. I don't know, four-armed guy, Machunk. I just call him Goro in my game. Just the way it comes together, the gameplay, and the art style, I don't mean this to sound detrimental, because in all honesty, it's kind of a nice change compared to how games actually work and operate in today's age. The game is simple. It is fairly straightforward. If you pay attention and you actually understand kind of the hierarchy of the Pokemon and their powers, you can get through it fairly easily. If you do a little grinding in the Final Fantasy sense, then yeah, you can actually probably take a starting Pokemon. In my case, it was Sobble. Sorry. Again, I'm being schooled off screen. So Sobble, who turns into Drizzle, who turns into... I don't know the final name, but he looks like a very thin James Bond type character. Anyway, I call him Squirt Gun. And you can level these Pokemon. So if you do the grinding, you can actually level them up where it doesn't really... you can kind of overpower most anything that's out there. And kind of brute force your way through the game if you choose to do so. Of course, anybody in the Pokemon community knows that there are all kinds of collectibles. And I say that with almost irony and a smile on my face. There are collectibles in capturing Pokemon. There are collectibles in capturing badges or ribbons. There are collectibles in, hey, how do I get a shiny? Pokemon has even gone so far in that there is a lotto subsystem where you need to trade Pokemon with people from other countries to get other IDs to win the lottery. That's a lot of collecting going on. I mean, can you honestly ever collect them all? I don't know. How many countries did this thing ever release in, and how many times did they variant the Pokemon? There are side quests where you can collect Pokemon that you can't get in this game, because Pokemon Sword and Shield was the first Pokemon game that did, of course, do a more regional Pokédex instead of the national Pokédex, so not every Pokemon is in this game. Now, I want to actually move on to the music. The music's great. There is a place in this game where you're not in one of the towns, but you're in the wild area and you're outside of, I think it's the second, we'll call it the second staging area. And the music sounds like something you would hear in the Highlands. It's bagpipes, and then it transitions into some other instruments, which I can't quite make out, but it's really got that Highlands kind of feel. It makes me want to visit Scotland. It makes me want to actually watch Highlander for some weird, strange reason. No, I am not Duncan MacLeod. The music is always something that Nintendo, and I guess in translation, the Pokemon Company, have really taken their time to plan out, although I cannot really say for certain. Again, I haven't played a lot of these games. This is my first one. I'm only 45 hours in. I haven't seen all the content yet, that the music holds up. Now, I would say the music, of course, generally is more high energy. You are not going to really get a lot of sections where it is Zelda's Lullaby, or you're going to have the Fairy Fountain, again, also from The Legend of Zelda. I would put this more akin to, and I can't remember the name of the level, but it's like Mario 64. It's that first ice level where you rescue the penguin baby, or you're sliding down the hill and it's like da, 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 da. And so definitely this music, I would say, is high energy. It is there to really engage your auditory senses. I, of course, have just recently started setting up a home theater surround system, so I do have it pumping through some very nice Polk Audio RTI A9 speakers. I don't, of course, have a lot of power going to them, so I can't really turn it up that loud, but it fills the room, and it really sounds wonderful. And I don't know the name of the composer on this game, but I would assume it's somebody that has worked with Pokemon for a very long time. Now, getting into the Pokemon themselves and my interaction and how I have gone about this game, I did some of the Final Fantasy brute forcing at first because I really kind of want, for a strange reason, a shiny squirrel. I can't tell you the name of the squirrel. It doesn't matter at this point. I know some of the Pokemon names, all right? I just haven't gotten there yet. It's my first game. Give me time. And so I want a shiny. I don't know. I was watching my girlfriend play, and somebody popped out a shiny and went, sing! And I was like, wow. I'm like, that's cool. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to beat up on a bunch of squirrels to get a shiny, because the more squirrels you beat up on, the better your chances are of getting a shiny. I'm not trying to beat up on squirrels. I don't hate squirrels. Don't judge me. And I just really I wasn't quite sure how to approach this game at first. And so I took the Final Fantasy route because I really wasn't sure how hard it was going to get moving further and further into the game. And so I did eventually move on. I've made it through 5 of the gyms. I have 2 gyms left. I know there's a little epilogue after the game. But the thing that I really started to do to kind of, I don't know, connect with these Pokemon is I started nicknaming them all. Like, at least the ones I'm really using. My Roly-Coly, which turned into a pile of coal, which turned into a colossal, I nicknamed Igneous because all I could think of was a volcano with this guy. My Sobble I nicknamed Squirt Gun because he was the first water Pokemon. I maybe would have named him Super Soaker if I had thought about it, but you're only allowed 12 characters, so creativity is a little limited in that area. My Machamp is wrestlers. We got Hulk Hogan, we got Arnold, and get to the chopper, you know who I'm talking about. And so that's how I'm kind of connecting with these Pokemon and picking these Pokemon out and which ones I really want to use and trying to build that connection, which is really weird. A lot of story games, it's usually they try to build the connection between the player and the protagonist or antagonist through what happens in the story. But being that this is very all video games are interactive to one sense or another. But being that I wouldn't necessarily at this point call the story in the Pokemon Sword strong, I would say that the strongest part comes with how you build the Pokemon, and it really kind of starts at nicknaming them. And I would also even go on to say that you develop maybe more of a connection with the Pokemon in and of themselves if you get them at their base evolution, and then you actually start playing with them throughout the game and watching them evolve. And so that deepens the connection. And by the way, the evolutions are kind of cool. I do like that cutscene that the game goes through to evolve some of these guys. Some of the changes on them are really weird. There is, I think it's Nymph. It's a goblin type Pokemon that you get in the big mushroom area. No, it's not the Mushroom Kingdom. That's another Nintendo game. You know it. And he, I don't know, he turns, his third evolution, can't tell you the name of the evolution. I named the guy Dracula because he's got fangs, he's got a chin that comes down, it comes into a point. I don't know, he reminds me of Dracula. Vlad is in your game. This is Castlevania. No, it's not. He's not. He's not doing the Belmont thing. So with that regard, I think that if anybody out there is looking for a simple time, it's still fun. As I said, don't conflate simple with bad, because some of the best things in life are simple things. It is a simple game. It's an easy to understand game. Story, again, not the strongest. And really my complaints with the story is that your character there's events happening around you, but you're not really directly involved with the event. So I don't really want to get into spoilers, but there's an event that happens in the game, and you run into two of the other characters, and they're like, "Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Go get your gym badges. You're important. We keep asking you your opinions on these things, but go get your gym badges. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it." And you just go on. So eventually, I think you swing back around, but again, you're more ancillary to the story. You're not really primary to the narrative that they're attaching you to. So that, I think, is really my biggest complaint with the game. For individuals like myself, YouTube's not your first job. You have other things to do. You're tired when you get home, but yet you still want to play a game. It's simple. It doesn't require this to work a lot. But it's still fun. It's it's light. It's not something that is going to be a heavy-handed story. It's not going to drag you down into the dirt. It's not dark. I mean, it's just light, simple fun. And that maybe is the best compliment as a 38-year-old who can give Pokemon. Is it targeted toward kids? Yeah, sure. It probably is. But it's not something that cannot be enjoyed by everybody else. So, if you're even slightly curious, I would recommend that you go out and give it a try. You may find that you actually like it and that you would be willing to play other games. Of course, the next game that's coming out from the Pokemon Company is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These are remasters of DS games that were released years ago in the Pokemon series. They're being remastered, of course, for the Nintendo Switch. And then in January, there is going to be Pokemon Legends of Arceus. And so, that game is entirely different. Being that this is my first Pokemon game, and this is kind of a hybrid and a different way of looking at things, I am intrigued enough where I will go and look at both of these products moving forward. We'll see how deeply involved I get with them, but for the 45 hours that I have spent thus far, I have enjoyed the Pokemon experience. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos, of course, subscribe to Armin's Tech Talk, always to see the latest. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.